Hello and welcome to Divine Messages with Max, Ryan and Polly Wirum. I am so glad you are here. You are going to take place in about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of Divine Messages directed for you who are watching, for our two incredible participants today. And we love to do what we do. My name is Max Ryan. I'm an intuitive. I'm a spiritual teacher and a law of attraction trainer and coach. And I help people to move in their life from craziness and negative results to peace and flow and love and positive results. And I do that by coaching people, by teaching people, and doing this show and doing private readings for people where I connect with the divine and help you to see a bigger picture of your life so that you can have more peace and more joy and really attract awesome positive results. So we are so glad that you are here and hanging out with us. It's an honor that you are here with us. So about enough for me. I'd like to introduce my incredible colleague who's a great intuitive, very, very spot on, and a wonderful person, Polly Wirum. Hey, Polly.
Hi, Max. Thank you very much for the kind words, and hello, everybody. My name is Polly Wirum, like Max said, and I am an intuitive and a mom, and all that typical family next door. But then I actually have these amazing abilities to help people see through the darkness or see through some confusion. And I do that with intuitive readings. So, and I do love it. It's super fun. And my website is gateways2peace.com. So gateways2peace.com, and that's with the number 2. And Max is going to hold something up because on my computer, I have, hold on.
Here you go. It looks like this, everyone.
Yes.
Gateways2peace, and it would say .com over there. So yeah. Gateways2peace. So.
And I think the biggest thing to know about this, number one, we love what we do. We feel honored. And the other thing is it's completely unscripted. So, and the other thing is whether you're watching this live or you're watching a recording, you will probably get a message that might have been for one of our wonderful guests, but it also applies to you. So frequently, if you tune in and you're watching this, there's something in it for you also. So it's just an honor, so thank you, everybody.
Definitely. And just so you know, I think that you might have said this a little bit, just so everyone knows here, the viewing audience, is that our two guests, we have never met, we have never talked, we don't really know them. The only way that we know them is that they asked to be on the show, to participate on the show, and that's the only thing that we know about them. We talked to them for just a second before we started, and very little bit, so we don't know anything about them, but Spirit will tell us stuff about them that will help them in their lives, just so you know that. And we will tell you that if you are interested in being on the show, we'll talk about that at the end. Right, Polly?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So should we go into our prayer or meditation, whatever you want to do?
Let's go into our prayer.
Okay.
So everybody take a nice deep breath in. And I just want to say that lots of times, like the prayers that I do, the words that come through have meaning for the people listening. So they always kind of, they're always what kind of lead the way, pave the way for the direction we're going, or anyhow the readings I do, they always pave the way. So take a nice, and I thank everybody for being here, a nice big deep breath in. Blow it out and release. So thanking you, thanking our angels, thanking our guides, thanking all the this divine network of energy that brought us all together, that made this possible for this moment, for us to gather, for us to understand, for us to meet, for our kindred souls to come together and work out this divine plan. So as we spend this time together, this very afternoon, this time, we will be weaving together our future. We will be weaving together our plans, our desires, our intent, setting intentions for our future. And these are being blessed by each of us, blessed by our angels, blessed by our guides, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Amen. All right. So what usually happens is that um, we get a universal message for everyone, and it's interesting because as we were saying the prayer, which gets us right into the zone of vibration, the vibration of spirit speaking to us, I started to get my guide telling me, and I was scratching my back because I got this feeling of push, 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 and thank you. So what my guide's wanting all of you to know is that this is a time right now, and might definitely be messages for people that are watching right now, is that it is the divine itself is kind of like going, go do it. Time to go. Time to do it. There's no time left. There's, I talk about this a lot too, that the time is right now. The time is now. And I get it again. He's like saying, you know what? Everything is changing in this world, and we talk about this on this program a lot. Everything is changing for humanity. Everything is changing for this world, meaning that the vibration is lifting and lifting and lifting. It's getting higher and higher and higher. And Spirit's just reminding us, you know what? You got to go. You got to do. You have to stop having the blocks. You have to stop putting yourself in your own way. That's what I hear. Stop putting yourself in your own way. Stop putting your fears in your own way. Stop putting your anger in front of you. Stop putting your sacrifice in front of you. Stop putting your judgments of yourself and others in front of you. It's time to just go. And I just really, as you can see, I just feel very much like this pulling. But actually, it's more like Spirit's going, go, go, go. It's like everyone, thank you. So everyone on the planet right now is all depending on you. It's all depending on you. Just like it's depending on me and like Polly and all of our guests and everyone that's watching. It's the... Thank you. No. Okay, so what he's saying is that the survival of humanity is depending on you. So that's so interesting. I'm just going to say what he just said. He just goes, get off your ass. So it's like he's like going, get off your butt. It's time to move forward. Stop blocking yourself. Stop putting yourself in your own way. Stop making yourself feel guilty about anything in your life. There's no room for that anymore, because the vibration of humanity is at the point where anyone that's not moving forward with their intuition, anyone that's not moving forward with really being a part of the solution, is going to be left behind. So really, no one's really left behind. I just want to tell you that. But in this space and time continuum, it's time to really feel that support and the push that the universe, God, Source, whatever is you conceive it as, is going. Come on, you gotta go. It's time to go. There's an thank you. There's an urgency. So I'm sure that some people out there, and possibly our participants today, needed to hear that for sure. So thank you. Okay, he's done. Thank you.
So what I want to add to that is I feel like sometimes people feel like when they hear, okay, I have to do something, they're almost frozen, because it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? And so it's pretty simple. You actually have to imagine how it feels to be in the most perfect spot. Like, imagine you to feel loved, imagine you to feel successful, imagine you to be safe, imagine you at this point of perfect stability. It's this, imagine how you would feel if you were absolutely supported, absolutely loved, absolutely fearless. Go to that point. And when you are at that point, you are able to connect with the source and just be. So it's not like you need to be, running around with picket signs. If you feel compelled to do that, certainly do it. But it's easier than that. It's easier than that. It's actually connecting to that place of love. Does that make sense to you guys? It's almost like, because if we put so much pressure saying that you have to do something, it almost kind of freezes you. And really, it's so simple. You just have to find that space of love, because it's at that space where you really are open to all the changes. You really are open to all the connections. You really are where you need to be. Yeah, and it's that simple.
That's a beautiful delineation of what was coming through for me, definitely, because it really is all about that. It's more about just like what he was saying to me. It's like just kind of remove those other things so you can just go. And that's the work. That really is the work. The work is the removing of the fear and removing of the judgment and all that. And it's because when you do it, it's really quite simple.
It is
it's quite simple. Yeah, and it's different for everyone. Different for everyone.
It is. And it does boil down to, it is simple, and it really does boil down to connecting to that space. And then wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you thrive, you will be doing change. Okay, do you mind if I share a message with Jan?
Sure. So Jan, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, so Jan, I don't know if this was something that happened in the past or if it's something that you're kind of going through right now, but I feel like there's a change going. It's almost like you're being taken out of, and you did tell me you were a teacher when we first came on, but it's, so like you're being taken out of that room and you're kind of being put into a different, like I see you going down a hallway and being put into a different situation, different teaching situation, something that is unplanned for you. So has that already happened?
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you feel anything like that? Is that happening in the school?
No, not really. I've been in the same position for a while, and they don't normally make changes very quickly. Okay, because
I saw somebody, it was actually a man, like comes in and puts you in a different situation. So that might be something that's coming up. And I see that it's not, it's not, it doesn't, because it's not planned. It's not like this easy breezy thing for you. Just go with it, because then eventually it brings you into a wider space, where you feel like you have more room to express yourself. Okay. And since that has not happened yet, we'll just see how it plays. And then I also, I wrote down a musical note next to your name, and then also something about a locket. So I'm wondering if there's a locket from somebody that's passed, or a locket that's been lost or something. For whatever reason, the word locket came in. And if it doesn't ring a bell, it might later on in the day.
I don't know. I mean, I have a bracelet on from my daughter that has a heart on it, but I don't know. It looks like a locket.
Oh, well, they said locket, so we'll just see. But we'll see. Max, what did you come up with for Jan?
Jan, first of all, I said, oh my gosh, I feel like I know you, which is really interesting. And so that's not what I'm going to talk about, though. Jan, I feel that, and I just pulled a card for you, and that's interesting, because when I look at you and I look at your picture, I see, don't get this the wrong way, I see confusion. I see finding your way. There's a new way for you. It's a little like, this is what I'm seeing, Jan, for you. I'm seeing that you're like, I'm going to try a little of this, a little of that, a little of that, a little of that, because you're at a point in your life where you're like, thank you. My guide's going, there's like a paradigm shift for you, and you're searching the way to find the paradigm shift to make it really work for you. It's about, the old ways are kind of not working anymore. Is that right, Jan?
Yes. I'm working on changing a lot of things.
Yeah, and I picked the Seven of Cups. I just want to show this to you. And the tarot deck is very interesting, and I knew right away that this was what you were going through. The Seven of Cups is all about, do you see there's a little bit in each cup? There's a little here, a little there, a little here, a little here, a little here. It's like that's what you're doing a little bit. You're like, you know what? I'm going to try, maybe it's yoga, but maybe it's exercise, but maybe it's eating different, maybe it's letting go of my religion, maybe it's getting a new relationship. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's kind of, I'm tuning into your your inner dialogue right now. Your inner dialogue's going, well, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And it's a good time for you. It's a really good time for you, because you really are, this is what I'm hearing, you're primed for a paradigm shift. You're primed for a paradigm shift. You know what a paradigm shift is, right, Jan?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
You're ready for it. I see, it's so interesting. You're primed for it because everything that's led you up to this point in your life is kind of I see you standing on a cliff and looking back down the hill, going, oh, that's my life. That's what I learned, but now I have to go off the cliff and go that way. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
it's almost, and I have to say, it feels like it's almost in, it permeates it could be your job as a teacher. I didn't know that before. I just heard that. Your job as a teacher, you might be like, maybe I need to do something else. It could be your family. It can be your health. Almost all the big areas of your life, you're ready to be like, I'm going to do something different. And it's good because you're, okay. Thank you. My guide is telling me your idea of God is totally shifted. Is that true?
Yeah, I've done a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really, God, I'm going to sound emotional. God, the last 3 weeks I get emotional on the show. It's interesting. But I get emotional because I feel a lot of joy. I feel like you're finding joy in God where you never found it before.
Yes.
Yeah. There's peace. I look in your eyes. I see peace. I see there's joy in your life. And that's changing your whole paradigm of what to do with your life. You're really going to do well. I get a sense of bliss about you. Have you ever thought about, do you or have you ever been a yoga teacher or anything like that?
No, but I do yoga. I've been doing yoga for the last, year and a half.
I feel yoga around you. It's interesting. I feel yoga around you, and I think because your paradigm shift, you keep studying. He's like, keep studying, keep doing the work, keep doing the work. I heard the word Japanese. I don't know if you're into Japanese philosophy or Japanese anything. Are you?
Not necessarily Japanese, but I do a lot of meditating, and I'm doing a lot. I'm trying to listen to principles that come from God and just be very open to that.
Good. I feel that you will find something in, it's either Japanese or Asian, maybe it's Zen. Something in the Zen Asian spirituality that you're going to end up going, aha, this works. I like it. I really feel like you're a great influencer. And you're going to be more of an influencer for women that are very much like you. I think you've gathered, and I'm going to stop. Sorry, this is how it all comes out really quickly for me. I feel like you have or you will gather a lot of women that are in your same position around you, that are kind of questioning religion, questioning God, questioning their life, and you're kind of a bright light for them. And I think that is that happening now or is that the future?
Well, I've always been a woman of faith, deep faith, but there's a difference in having faith and actually feeling it and knowing it.
Amen. Amen, sister. Totally. It's a completely different thing. But I really think that you have the ability, because I get the Ace of Pentacles, which means that there's ability for you to be a leader in, and not a leader from the egotistical way, just by your life being an example to other women in your position. So, does that make sense at all?
Yeah, it does. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I can see you doing that. I do. I have something else, but I know that Polly wants to.
Yeah, well, I just want to say I wrote down big move into different direction, and so I feel it goes along with what Max is saying. So I feel like this shift is going to happen with you, and it might not be, you know how lots of times when change occurs, it's, at first you're like, hey, I wasn't planning this. It's an event that you're kind of not planning. I feel like there's going to be something like this. Something, that's not quite it. There's going to be something that makes you stop and pause. It might not be you going to a different classroom. There's going to be something like I feel like you are going to be led into a different direction. That's what it is. So it's not that you come up with this different direction yourself. You are being led into a different direction. So, if that's a different classroom, it's a different classroom. I saw it physically like in your school. But you are going to be led in a different direction. And at first it doesn't feel real comfortable because it's unfamiliar, but go with it because it takes you into this space where you feel good. So I'm curious, so I kind of want you to stay in touch because I'm curious what this is.
Okay.
It's not bad, I'm just curious what it is, because whatever it is, it causes you to shift gears. It takes you into a different direction. And so it's really interesting to me.
Okay.
So, and I don't think that is that far off, because I wouldn't, I don't think it's that far off at all, because I wouldn't be getting it in a short little reading like this. I wouldn't be getting it the way I am. So it'll be interesting to see what it is.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
I was getting a lot before about, are you married now? Do you have a husband?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay, so I got two men. It was like two men. I was like, is that a son? Is that a husband? I'm not sure. Do you have a son?
I do have a son. One
Okay.
son.
Okay, so you have one son. So let me just put that. Let me clarify this for a second, because two, kind of, and he's not a little boy, right?
No, he's not.
Okay. He's like in his early 20s.
25.
Okay, good. Okay, so good. Let me just put him to the side for a second, because his father, I don't know if he's still around, but his father is going through some stuff right now. That's what do you know anything about his father?
Yes, but
Okay.
not a lot. I don't stay in touch, but yeah.
Okay. His father is going through some stuff, and he needs to be careful physically. I feel that his father something is going on with his body that he's got to be careful. I feel like he's got something going on, and all I know is that I'm just giving you what I get. That Spirit's telling me to tell you, and doesn't matter if you say it or not. But he's saying he needs to be checked. He needs to be checked. There's something going on with him physically.
I believe that.
Yeah,
very bad health habits.
Yeah, and he's an angry person.
Yes. Oh my
He's an
gosh.
angry person, and and that anger is it's manifesting after all these years. He's kind of a hard person. If he doesn't smoke and drink a lot now, he did at some point.
He does. He does still now.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I feel it around him. Bless his soul. Bless his soul. He's like a lost puppy. He's a lost puppy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lost puppy, kind of looking for scraps in the world. And bless his soul. But I don't know. I just needed to tell you that he needs to go to the doctor. He needs to be checked, because if he's not checked, something's happening in his body. I'm not a medical intuitive at all, but something's not good happening in his body. Now, your son. I don't know why I'm getting this, but I keep hearing the name Josh. I don't know if that's his name, but I hear Josh.
No, that's my former son-in-law.
Oh, okay. So I kept hearing Josh, and I don't even know if Josh is who I'm talking about, but I'm tuning into your son right now. I'm just going to write Josh down, because I think Josh has some message here too. So your son, what's your son's name?
Eric.
Eric. Okay. With the IC?
I see. Yes.
Okay. He he makes me laugh. He's a funny guy. There's something really funny about him. He's really he's got your light. You have light in your eyes. You got the light thing.
Mm.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's a very he's charismatic.
Yes.
People really like him a lot. Yeah, he can really. He too, like you, unlike your ex-husband, you both have leadership qualities. Eric and you have leadership qualities, and Eric could really be a leader. And I think that what's happening is, thank you. So I'm tuning into him right now. He's getting the feeling for the first time in his life of like, wow, I can actually affect people's lives. There's something about he's understanding that he's actually can either be a helper or people do listen to him. Does that make sense?
It does. He's everything you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very charismatic. He's my mini-me. We're very much alike.
Yeah, and he didn't really get that until the last literally 4 or 5 months. In the last 4 or 5 months, he's like, oh. It's almost like he knows his power now, but not in an egotistical way. Not in an Does that make sense, though?
No, it does make sense. Yes, he's coming to his own, and he's definitely a different place, a good place.
It's a good place. It's a really good place. I see him getting a really awesome position. Did he just get an awesome position, or is he going for something?
In January, big position with Ernst & Young, doing very well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Whoa, I get the chills all over. That's it. He's getting a big position, and this position's going to be good for him. Good for him. He's moving, and he's moving. Hate to tell you that,
That's
Mom.
awesome. Oh, don't tell me he's moving. No.
Here's the deal.
I'll
feel like he will move. I don't think it's going to be immediate, but the bulk of his life is not going to be where you are. It's going to be somewhere else.
He's told me he wants to move and where he wants to move. So
to New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, something over there.
Well, he chose North Carolina, but he would have to go. Who knows?
Okay. Either way, I feel like he's going east of where you are, and I feel like he's going to a climate that has more seasons. And
well,
he's going to. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's with a big company, so that's a good possibility.
Yeah, he's very smart. He's really smart, but it's really his personality, his charisma, and his kind of he's scrappy. He'll figure things out. He's kind of like, I'll figure it out. He'll be like, I never had a degree in that, but I'll figure it out. He's like that guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And girls love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like this. They're really like, it's so funny. Last week we had someone on whose father was a similar vibration, and it's like this kind of feeling like girls are just like, I'd date him. If he asked me, I'd date him or whatever. He's kind of dreamy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm his mom, so I'm a little prejudiced, but yeah, he is.
Well, of course, and you don't see him exactly the same, but he's kind of dreamy. To other women, he's kind of dreamy. So it's good. I want to pull one card for him, and then we'll move on. Yeah, it's really good. He really is getting that he got the Wheel of Fortune upside down. The Wheel of Fortune upside down is like anything can happen, lots of change, and it's kind of like his reward is coming in. His reward for his work and his focus. He's very spiritual too. It's all coming to play. Lots of changes, lots of cool things. It's like, and he kind of looks at it like, wow. It's like spin the wheel. What's going to happen next with my life? Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy. So he's good. He's a quality person.
He is, absolutely.
There's nothing.
You're spot on.
Yeah, sorry it's not more about him, but I just have to go with what I get. But
no,
yeah,
that's good to know, because he was in a place a couple of years ago that wasn't where it was difficult, so it's good to hear and see. That's awesome.
Yeah, he doesn't have any kind of flaky quality. He's a quality person. Quality. So, okay, I just want to give that to you, leave that with you. Polly, do you want to say anything else to Jam before we move on?
No, it sounds good. I'm still curious about because I kept seeing more of it, so now I'm definitely curious about what I was seeing earlier.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I hope that helped, Jam.
It did help. It did help a lot.
Good. We'll come back to you at the end and see if you have any more questions. Okay.
Oh, I will.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Think about one or two top ones that we have time for at the end.
I will.
All right. Polly,
thank you.
You're welcome. Polly, are you getting anything for Picky?
I am. So I'm going to say Picky Huya. Is that close?
Huya.
Huya. Okay. Huya.
Huya.
Huya. Okay, so I got, the first thing I was getting for you earlier is I was hearing Master Craftsman, and what I was seeing was you standing in front of rows of their flowers in Hawaii. You know the big, they have the tall stalks with the the red. Plumeria. I don't know what they're.
Plumeria. Is
it
plumeria?
No, it's not plumeria because they're the stalks with the red. I don't know. I know they're Hawaii. They're tropical, but I know that they have them in Hawaii. I don't know what they're called. But anyhow, so standing in front of these rows of these flowers, you are tidy and controlled. And then I saw you standing in front of these rows of flowers, which lots of times when I see gardens, it means that it's kind of like what people are harvesting. So you've got these flowers, and then you have the bird seed in front of your hands, and you're singing and you're happy. You're not quite sure what to do with what you're creating. And
Mhm.
and some of your stuff that you're creating, I almost feel like you're just letting it go. It's like you're creating it, but then it doesn't quite come to fruition, and you let it go. And so I feel like there's some stuff, some of your ideas have the potential to really, you could really do something. So turn those into, keep your ideas and build on them, because you have these fabulous ideas, and I know you're doing stuff, but you have these fabulous ideas. Capture them and create them. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, and then the other thing, for some reason, the other thing is that the word train came into my, like I wrote the word train down, and then I actually saw like a train, and then I saw the train tracks. So then it was making me wonder, well, do you ever feel like you're like off your like you're not quite where you should be, like you've stalled, you're not quite on your, moving right along, chugging along on the train track, so to speak?
Yeah, that makes sense, definitely.
Okay, because
Yeah.
what I feel you could do, since I was shown both of those, I feel like what you create, because you're super creative and you've got all this stuff, like I see it behind you, when I see the flowers and I see them behind you, so there's stuff that you've already created, there's stuff in your mind, you have the ability to make that be very fruitful. And you're also, because I saw you singing with the birds, so some of this stuff is just really natural, so you can just, like, number one, make people feel very much at ease, and I'm hearing storybooks, but you make people feel very much at ease, and so do this creation and share. Don't let the ideas get away from you.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so Mark, sorry.
That's my other name. That's my other name. I'll reveal that for all of you. My born name is Mark, and so people often call me Mark by accident. So anyway, but I'm Max now. That's who I am. All right. Pikua.
Right. Yeah.
How are you doing today? I need to look in your eyes a second. Talk to me for a second. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I'm a little nervous, but yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good, awesome.
Yeah.
I got a lot of energy from you as soon as I saw you. I actually got energy from the email that you sent us. And one thing that I wanted to say to you is that I, too, definitely got this, whoa, she's creative. Wow, she's creative in so many different ways. And I really feel like for your creativity, and I don't know what this means. I really don't know what this means. But there's a kind when Polly said the thing about story, I was tuned into the story thing. I don't know if you're a writer, you write stories or not, but you're really good at creating a character. And a character could be a sculpture, it could be a character in a play, it could be a character in a storybook. You're good at kind of going, this is what they're all about. Does that make sense at all to you? If it doesn't, say no.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Creating characters? Ooh.
Okay, let me be more specific, because that's how it's coming to me. So, it can be in sculpture. It can be in art. You did say that you painted those things, but what I'm talking about is, okay, I got to sort this out to say what's happening. Okay. You're good at being able to present a vibration of a certain thing or a person or an image so that people see it, they get it and go, oh my God, I feel sadness for that painting. Oh, I feel happiness for that story. I don't know if painting or that medium is the only thing you do, but you're good at relating an emotional life to the people that are looking at your art. Does that make sense? Maybe it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't, say no.
No, I do share some of my stuff with friends and stuff, and they have that attraction towards it. They do get that attraction towards it.
And they have feelings for it when they see it. They feel things when they see your art. They're like, wow, that's really...
Not so much. They don't really say anything to me about their feelings or share their feelings. They just have an attraction towards it, that's all.
Okay, good. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm getting, really, is that your art has the potential to do that. It has the potential to do that. And I want to say that you're an amazing, because that's so interesting. Okay, because you look at life. You're an observer of life. You're an observer of people. You watch people. You watch behavior, and you're able, because you do that. You need to bring more of that into your art, because in your art, people will go like, oh yeah, I get that. I see you doing much more art than you are now, and you have so you need to work on your confidence. You need to work on your confidence. You need to work on your You need to work on who cares what people think. That voice. That you need to just work on your confidence and do the work. Because I see you in a studio just being completely obsessed with. And I keep seeing sculpture. I don't know. Do you do sculpture ever?
No, I haven't tried.
Yeah, I feel like that would be an amazing thing for you. Whatever the artwork is, I can see you doing more of it and not worrying what other people think, because I think that there is an amazing sense of beauty that's come from you, that will come from you for other people. Okay.
Okay, I have stuff to add.
Go.
Okay. Yeah, so I was actually seeing this similar to Max, where, like if you're working with clay and you have that clay on your hands and you're sculpting, you've got the water. So I was seeing that. But here's something that I think is important. I feel like, here's one thing. I feel like you have an idea what you want to do. Do you know what you, like with this plan, I'm hearing golden plan, like you have this ability, you have this, we could say a dream. You have this idea that you want to do. That's one thing, so just think about it. The next thing is I feel like you almost, take for granted isn't quite the right word, but you almost don't honor enough, like you're capable of these amazing talents, and it's almost like you don't honor them enough because you think, well, I can do this, probably everybody can do it. You have this ability to do some really cool stuff, and so honor that, grab hold of it, and don't waste it, right? Because we all have abilities, we all have whatever, but you have the ability to do some really cool, to create some really neat stuff, and you haven't fully pulled, you haven't played with it enough, but it's really something that needs to be shared. And I also will say that you will get to that point where you're like, I figured it out. I know what I'm supposed to do. So so getting to that point, I think part of the stepping process of that is to recognize that you do have these talents. It's not take for granted, but really pay attention to them, because what you can do, not many can. You can see, say you take a leaf or you say whatever, and you can sense every little whatever about that leaf. You can sense the velvety feel of the leaf. You can sense all the aspects of it, and you can share that. Not many people have the ability to. It's almost like you look at a leaf, but you don't just see the leaf. You see in depth, whatever to them. Maybe it's a story, maybe whatever it is that you see. You have the ability to see so much more than what other people see, and to share that. And so you have these gifts, honor them, and give them, pay attention to them and see what happens. Because I really feel like you will. I don't know if you can see this. There. You do get to that point. Do you see that?
Yep, I do.
Okay, you do get to that point where you're like, yeah! I've made it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Can I jump in here a second?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just pulled 2 cards for you, but I'm going to come back in a second. But one thing I want to tell you is that all the other messages were coming so much. I want to tell you that you are such a bright light for a lot of people, too. Similar, like what we were talking about in the pre-show, we were saying, oh, there's a lot of energy here, and there's a lot of light, and what Polly was saying. You kind of light up a room. People really like you. You're fun to be around. You're really a fun person. And you might not even totally believe that yet, but there's a joy around you. There's a joy within you that is very natural. That's very natural. You don't always see it. People see it in you more, and I probably need to tell you that because of what came up before about you need more self-confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You do, and I think that other people see it in you more than you see yourself. So I needed to tell you that, and so did Spirit need to tell you that. But yeah, I wanted to tell you that is that you kind of similar to Jan is that you are really needing a shift. You're really needing a change. You really need to go to a next level of something, and that's what the 6 of Cups that I pulled for you is all about. And it is really all. Do you know the tarot at all?
Not really.
No. Okay, so the tarot.
But you mentioned the cups.
Yeah, the cups, and it's about your feelings. Your feeling is going, I gotta change. I gotta shift things. But then you've got baggage from the past that you're holding on, and it has a lot to do with your self-confidence. It just does. You've been, and let me just tell you this. You've been a little bit in your life kind of beaten down. And that like kind of not supported and put in the corner a little bit, and you're bringing that into now, so you need to let that go so that you can really change. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, there's something that yeah, I get it, sweetie, I know it. You were kind of, I feel it, you were kind of put like, no, I don't want to hear you, whatever. But you have such joy in you, and it's really hard for you. You're bringing all of that into, you really want to change, but that baggage is coming with you. You have to forgive the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think you're there. You're working on it, right? You're working on forgiving the past.
I am.
Yeah, and
sure.
and I want to tell you that, and I'll let you talk for a second because I think you need to talk. Is that forgiveness is a process. It's not a magic pill. Forgiveness is a process. So you just go, oh, I forgave a little bit of what my parents did to me today. I forgive a little bit of that. I forgive. It's a process. And as you keep doing it, you will start to, because there's a burning desire for you to let go of it, for sure.
Yeah.
So just know that forgiveness is the key to happiness. That's for sure. There's no doubt about it. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgive your past for what it is so that you can be happy now and in the future. Okay? And then, yeah, because you have, and the other one I picked was the 9 of Rods upside down, which is there are obstacles in the way to your joy and your peace, and it really does come from the past.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah.
Most definitely. Okay.
Well.
And you know what's interesting? Let's come back to the beginning of the whole show where Spirit was saying the time is now, you need to let go and you need to move, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I picked that up too. Yeah, I did click on that one.
That was very much for you. Very much for you. It's good.
If you saw me, I was nodding. I was nodding on that.
That's good. Good. Go ahead, Polly.
Yeah, I was going to mention, how we talked about storytelling earlier. I almost feel like it's some of the story, it's like reinventing some of the stuff, like your past, reinventing that, and maybe that's how you share it with your children so that you put a different, how other people learn from others' experiences, but you put it on a different spin. Does that make sense? So yeah. you can reinvent these. It's the storytelling, but it's a different level of storytelling because you actually have a beautiful way of. I'm hearing reinventing words, but you have a beautiful way. It's all like almost like this melodic, this melodic way that you can restructure these stories, and so it almost like in. Are you familiar with like shamanism type stuff where? They or like Native American type stuff, where they take these stories and they hand them down generation to generation. And does that make sense? So you can take these stories of your childhood, kind of change them and hand it down generation to generation, where it's it's definitely an act of forgiveness because you've learned, right, from these experiences, but you're sharing these experiences with your children, and it kind of goes generation to generation, which you have that ability. And it goes also when I was talking about your talents, that sometimes it's almost like you're not giving the energy to them that they deserve. And that goes with the self-esteem, because you're very talented and very beautiful. And so it's honoring. When I say honor, it's the trust that you really, it's recognizing your beauty and your self-worth and your talents, because not everybody has the talents that you have. And so maybe they were brushed aside in the past, but now it's time for you, to shake off the dirt and really recognize and honor your specific talents, because that's one of the things that I, when I work with people a lot, is we all have these, some creative outlet, whether it's cooking or whatever it is, we have something to share the world and make an impact, and you have that, and so honor that and trust that, because it's a beautiful experience.
And I do want to say this really quickly, is I want to ask you this. Do you write, or have you ever written?
I used to.
You used to?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to put a lot of feelings and a lot of, when I was younger.
Yeah. There's a writing piece to all of it too. It's kind of a hazy thing right now, but it does all come back to you. Is the letting go of the past, believing in yourself, and realizing that message of the time is now. So just freaking let it go.
Yeah.
And we say it a lot. We say it here a lot, but it's so true, because it really is time for you to let it go, and let it go in the most healthy way, because you've been doing the work. So let it go in a healthy way so that you can, like Polly said, bring your gift to the world, because you have a lot to give. A lot of people really, really think the world of you, and more will think the world of you. So.
Wow.
You have a sweet soul. Your soul is so sweet. It's so vulnerable. It's really beautiful, and that's what people are like. Oh, look her. You're the person, and then we're gonna take questions. You're the person that everyone wants to just hug.
I love to hug.
Yeah, you're a hugger. You feel safe. You're just such a sweet soul. Which I love. I needed to tell you that. All right, so this is the part. First of all, Vicki, did what we said help you? Did it make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Awesome, good.
Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. So now we're going to go to the final segment before we talk a little bit more about what we do. The next few minutes, we're just going to open it up to, let's go to Jan first, because we talked to her. So Jan, you now have an opportunity to ask us one or two questions that you might have come in here with that we didn't address, and that Polly and I can just jump in and see what we get. Does that make sense, Jan? You unmute yourself. You're still muted. Can you hear me? You're still muted. We can't hear you. Maybe it's not working. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I kept trying to hit the button. It wouldn't work. I guess my question that I would love to find out about is the meeting that man, the love life. It's something that is on my mind and something that I am looking for, that relationship with that man.
Polly, you getting anything?
There's something, Jan, that, because I keep okay, here's the thing, is I keep getting the same thing with you, and I'm going to talk to you about it when we're off air. Because I just want to do that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just
That's
something
mysterious.
that...
Now I
it's not really. It's just something that I'd rather do, like, off.
I get it. I'm just being...
Yeah.
I'm being...
Yeah.
I'm being the funny host. I get
know.
that.
It's just, you know what? I've never done that before. I've never said, okay, I want to hold this for later on. But on this instance, I actually do. So.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. There, and I just pulled a card for you, and this is kind of what I got even before I pulled the card. Is that you're not going to believe me when I tell you this.
Okay.
You're not going to believe me when I tell you this. That there is part of you that's restrained, that has a wall, that's going. Even though you're like yes, 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 there is a part of you, and I pulled this card, and I was like, how perfect is that? It is the angel Flauris. I never say it right, but it's about restraint. There's something that you're holding yourself in, and that holding yourself in is keeping them. I mean, because men look at you and they're like, wow, she's hot, she's smart, she's sexy, she's cute, she can speak. But there's something within you that's still a little bit that you got to do some work. Maybe that's what Polly's talking about. I don't know. And I know you don't want to hear this because most of you're probably like, I've been doing the work. I've been doing the work. Does that make sense, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, part of me wants to tell myself, I mean, I know I'm lovable just where I am, and I don't have to get to this next level because you never stop growing, but I have to let go of that because it's like, I'm fine now, but I always want to grow.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm going to come back to another thing that I alluded to earlier, is that it really is about just, healing and removing the blocks to your light. You don't have to get anywhere. You just have to go, okay, because your light's really great. There's just some restraint in there, and there is specifics in there that I'm picking up too. That's fine. It's all good. And I would suggest that you, okay. I would suggest that you, I need to pull a card. Have you, no. There's a lot. Now, this is interesting because I'm trying to tune into something to tell you, but it's really fuzzy for me, and that's giving me an indication that there's something fuzzy within your vibration. About the men, about that.
But I will talk about this because I do have a question regarding this after. I just want to do talk to you a little bit off air.
Right.
Okay.
There's something about you following your intuition more instead of your head.
I believe that.
Because I pulled the moon card, which is all about following your intuition instead of your intellect. And your intellect might be, oh, wow, I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say it right off because it's very much like me. You might very much be too picky.
I am pretty picky.
You might be picky. That's another element of the situation is that it's got to fit into a box a little bit. And I only say that because that's me. I'm like, I'm too picky. So I have opportunities, and I'm like, well, no, they're too short. He's too this, he's too that. And then I'm like, but I want it. And I'm like, ugh. Does that make sense, Jen?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Big time.
So that's what I want to leave with you, is just look at, and picky is just, that's a judgment. But it's like you're so discerning that you might be holding yourself back from something that might be right there.
Okay.
Okay?
And I will add to that, it might be right there, but then we're going to talk about this off air.
Okay.
Good idea. All right. Okay. All right. That's so funny. I just realized I said picky, picky, picky.
Hello?
Because I was just gonna say picky. Do you have any questions? So picky, do you have anything that we didn't address that you would like us to see if we can tune into?
I guess it's probably the same line as Jan's because I've been single for so long and trying to find Mr. Right. Is he there,
Yeah.
Or am I going to be on my own? I mean, I'm okay with that idea, but it'd be nice to know if there's someone out there for me.
Right. It's definitely more. Kind of both of you need to hear is that it's really like it's not like if there's anyone out there. There's 50 million of them out there. There is.
No, but
there is.
There
definitely is. It's a different. It's a vibrational thing. We are our own worst enemy. We put our blocks. And here's the deal. I speak from experience. I'm single and have been single for a while. And I know that to be true. We are our own worst enemies in this way. And it is about healing stuff. It's about healing stuff. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely about healing stuff. And when you heal the stuff, it's like, wow, look, there they are. Bam, done. Yeah, for sure. So Picky, I would say that's what it's about. It comes back to this other stuff we were talking about, is that, you know what? It is about you having the confidence and knowing who you are well enough, and I'm not trying to cut you down. It's just
I
that's
understand what you're saying. It all
kind of
makes
the
sense.
fact. And I'm a person, because I'm a coach and a teacher and I know spirit so well, that when we set up this idea of the one, it's like, ooh, it's not so good. Because when you set up the idea and you reinforce the idea of the one is coming, or is he coming, that is so limiting. It's like going like this. Okay, God, that's great for all those hundreds that you're bringing me, but I want the one. I want this one. I want this one. I want this one.
Yeah,
hilarious. Because God in the universe is just going, here's 1, here's 10, here's 50, here's what, and we're going, but wait, because, and I'm a big Disney fan. Disney and everything has taught us to be like, someday my prince will come, and that is very dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
I fall into it, and especially women fall into it. So just let go of that idea that there's a one. Have a great time. Pursue what you're doing, and then you might meet him by picking oranges at the supermarket one day.
Okay, Picky, I'll tell you what I see. I see you sitting in front of, it's almost like you're outdoors and there's kind of like this little fire. I see you sitting in front, and then there's 3, possibly 4 guys sitting behind you. They play, at least one of them plays music. And they are behind you. They're happy. They're attracted to you. They're likable. But you're in front of them and your back is to them. So I actually feel like you, even right now, have, but I will tell you that these guys are like the likable, like, they're fun. They might not be super serious, but they're fun guys. They're fun and nice, and they really like you. And there's this friendship connection. So you already have, it around you, but you're literally in front of them and your back is to them. But part of that is good, because it shows that they've got your back. I mean, literally, you have people that care about you. So that's one way to look at this.
For sure.
So you could turn around, and if you want, if there was one that you liked more than, whatever, it's up to you.
Okay.
Good. All right, so the executive producer is coming in saying we're wrapping up now.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Picky and Jan. I'm so glad to meet you. I hope that you gained any insights or revelations. Did you?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
So we love having you on. We know that it's your time is valuable and important, and we just really respect you. Thank you. And we always attract the right people to the show. It's just uncanny. So we're going to wrap up here, and let me just tell you, we're here every Thursday, same time, 3 o'clock Pacific time, 2 o'clock in Alaska, where Polly is, and 6 o'clock on the East Coast. And in Australia, it's like 8 in the morning, I think, or something like that.
9.
So
9 o'clock.
Okay, good. So it's all different times, but we're always here, and you can always, if any of you are interested in being in the spots where Dan and Picky are, you can send an email to us at info at attract positive. Oh, is that right? No, that's not. That's it. Here it is. Sorry. Info at attract. I've got so many different things here. I just want info at attract positive results, and you can send us a thing saying you're interested in being on the show, because we're always looking for new people. So next week we are doing a show, but then we're going to be next week we're not doing the show, but we'll be on the week after, just so you all know, because we have Divine Messages live in Los Angeles, right?
Woo, woohoo! Super excited.
Yeah. So we do a gathering that's a really beautiful gathering where Polly and I get together. She's coming to California, to Venice, California on October 23rd. And we are going to be delivering messages. It's in a beautiful space called Mystic Journeys Bookstore in Venice on Friday night from 7 o'clock to 8:30. And I think we still have room for 1 or 2 readings afterwards if you're interested in that. Private readings with just us. And it's a beautiful, beautiful night. So if you're in Los Angeles, we invite all of you to come. You can get that information on attractpositiveresults.com, and you can buy your ticket there. And I do want to say this really quickly, is that I am running just a little bit of an October special. So if you are interested in having a full reading, you will get $50 off of my readings. So my readings are usually $150. So for $100, you'll get a full reading, an hour of just you and me, probably a little more. It's usually a little more. If you're interested in that, you can go to attractpositiveresults.com. Actually, send me an email, a contact, and say you want the special. The special is only available till this Sunday. This Sunday. So I think that's it. And then follow me on Periscope. I'm on Periscope 2 to 3 times a day. I have something else, but Polly, you've got to talk.
Okay, so here I am. I'm going to start a radio show that will be, the first one is on the 27th of October. I'm super excited. So it'll be much like this. People call in and I answer questions. So that information will be on my website, which is gateways2peace.com. And then for me, so for the next week, if somebody contacts me and says, puts in special in the email, so it's gateways2peace.com. If you want a reading, instead of paying me, there's a, it's called Farm Sanctuary, and I'm raising money, trying to raise awareness for them, because they do amazing things where they rescue animals, and they just took in like 200 animals in New York State. And they take these animals and they kind of heal them, and then they get to work with kids, and it's really an amazing, beautiful educational experience. So I encourage anybody who's interested in getting a reading. There's one of my. It goes to this wonderful charity. So if you have any questions, you can just contact me at gateways2peace.com. So thank you.
I love it. I love it. Just one more announcement for me is that I am on Periscope. Like I said, Periscope is an app to download on your iPhone or your mobile device. And I've just been asked to do a new show on Parachute TV, which is the first network on Periscope television. So I'm doing a new show called Taroscope, which is an intuitive game show. And that's next Tuesday night it starts. So. And you can find all that stuff on attractpositiveresults.com. So, thank you again, everyone. And
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Please remember that you are always being delivered divine messages, whether you know it or not. And sometimes you might just need someone like Polly or myself to help you to interpret those. So, it's our pleasure and our honor. And we will not be here next week, but we will be here the week after. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, 2 weeks, and we pray that love will guide you. Right, Polly?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Let's all say bye.
Bye.
Bye.